And we're live. All right, so anybody want to give a recap of what happened last session? Wasn't the most exciting of sessions.
Well, we now own a guild hall.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
We are the McCormick's Folly leaders, and we ended up talking to Brevan, and Brevan's like, "Yeah, good for you." And now we're going on a road trip, and we've decided that we're going to be sightseeing along the way because that's what we do when we get free first-class rides around the world.
Yes, and I made Brevan cover up his house Deneath sign in the back because I pretty much think that's a walking target for us.
Mm-hmm.
McCormick left us the guild hall because he's retiring. I don't know what he's doing. I think he got some white shoes and he talked about shuffleboard or something. But he's doing something.
Yeah, he's going to the Lazar Principalities. From your guys' knowledge of the world, you guys know that it's kind of the northeastern part of the continent. It's a series of islands and archipelagos and everything that is known for a lot of piracy. Basically a pirate nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you guys are now the owners of McCormick's Folly. So you have your choice in terms of what you want to do with the guild hall, whether you want to continue to run it, if you want to change how McCormick ran it, if you want to sell it outright. Those are all potential options. I believe you guys had discussed potentially leaving Charles in charge, though we were going to wait for Marthow to actually join us before making a decision for Charles.
Charles would be delighted to charge of the abode. He knows how to keep things handsome around the Handsome Mansion.
Yeah, we're definitely going to leave Charles in charge of the day shift and the night shift. Possibly all they do wrong and all they do
right. So then at the end of last session, it was decided that on the way, because there is a train station with the lightning rail that is not too far outside of Fort Deep Dark, where you're going to grab the lightning rail and ride that to a trade city that's on a main House Orion trade route before grabbing another lightning rail through Etter and into Korth. But along the way, you guys decided that you wanted to first stop at the Handsome Manor to check it out. So the Handsome Manor is not too. It's probably about half a day or so outside of Ironside. It's a nice, out of the way, middle of nowhere place. The surrounding area is pretty flat plains. Bless you. So definitely a lot of visibility all around the manor. Bless you again. As a security measure, it's going to be not necessarily easy to sneak up on you in the manor. And so as you are approaching it, you see it off in the horizon. Bless you again. So you guys start to see the manor pop up in the horizon, and just as the silence is starting to get really awkward in the carriage on the way there with Brevan and everything, from inside the carriage, there's a rumble and like a shudder all of a sudden, and the carriage stops.
I pound on the doors. Wait, quick question. Who is driving this carriage? Is it driving?
Yeah, so it's you guys decided not to take the Elatrix. So it is Brevan's one of Brevan's carriages, and so it is being driven by one of his men in House Deneath. So it's a 2-horse carriage. So it's
Gotcha.
one driver, I believe, is what I said.
So I knock on the and Marthow knocks on the walls. Hey, you, why do we stop? Destination.
So from outside the carriage, you hear the driver get down from his seat, and from around the wheel, he says, "It seems one of the wheels got sucked into the mud. No worries. It'll just be a couple minutes."
Sounds like we could use a person of strength.
Yeah. Where are we going to find one?
We seem to be fresh out. We could do to help.
Yeah, you can
Perhaps
lend
we
a
can,
hand.
Sure.
Well, there's only half as cunning as my charm, but
Brevan is perfectly capable. I think he can probably take care of that pretty quick.
Petrie hears
might be.
the idea of a feat of strength, and he starts rolling up his sleeves.
Of course.
It might be helpful if we all got out, though, to reduce the weight of the carriage. They have to get out of the mud.
Egg, from Elmorn's shoulder, Egg looks longingly at Elmorn as if he wants to lend a hand. So then, yeah, Brevan, he begins exiting the carriage, and he says, "God damn it, this always happens."
You get stuck in mud?
Carriages, man. Not as reliable as they used to be.
I mean, I can't do nothing for you. You're the one. You got the House of Deneath mark. If you can't upgrade your carriages, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. These are no House Orion carriages, because House Orion carriages do not get stuck in the mud.
Coma, I think this is why we should have taken the Elatrix.
No, we shouldn't have taken the Elatrix.
So so you guys are all staying in the carriage while Brevan and his driver are doing his thing?
Oh no, I'm getting out.
I am not getting out.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip the carriage.
I'm not getting out either. I'm kind of waiting on I'm kind of with Colmar on this one. I would, but since he's staying back, it's kind of room to hesitate.
So Petrie, while you're out there, you see that it's not mud, and Brevan notices it just as you do. But rather, it's kind of like a trail of softened earth. that has been like kind of tilled or upturned. And Brevan reacts immediately. He looks at you, his eyes wide, and he says, "We have to get out of here. Hurry, help me with this." He goes over to the wheel and says, "Driver, you fool, what have you done? How did you not see this?" And he's like, and the driver, you can hear the driver like, be like, "Well, what? And so Brevan starts working as hard as he can with the other guy to lift the wheel out of this depression of loosely upturned earth. Petrie, are you helping?
Yeah, I'm definitely helping. Yeah.
All right, so give me a strength or athletics check with advantage.
Okay. 17.
Okay. So Marthow and Colmar, while you're in the carriage, you can feel it begin to rock back and forth and side to side as the three of them are working to try and lift it and move it over this depression of earth. Both of you are also welcome. All three of you are welcome to give me a knowledge nature check if you want.
Knowledge,
He
nature.
loves nature, so he'd be more than happy to.
Oh yeah. 15.
Oh baby.
Oh man, I just used that on a nature roll. I hope, hopefully it's worth it. Those. Did you hear me?
I'm sending you an email.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right, send. So Petrie, the three of you are making some headway, but you're still not quite out of there yet. So give me another strength or athletics check
Okay.
with advantage.
That is a 14.
Okay. So you guys are trying to lift it out. You're not quite able to get it this time, though. You didn't make any progress with that roll.
Oh, get out! I like the idea that Petrie doesn't know what's going on, but he's just as enthusiastic as Brevan is. So he's just like, get out, let's go!
You can so Petrie, you can see that Brevan is straining with every fiber of his being. His blood vessels are popping. He is sweating, and not from exertion, but looks to be from fear.
Oh.
Hurry up out there. A bulette is coming.
Right.
What'd you say, Marthow?
They're most terrible creatures. Apparently, this one has Brevan in a tizzy.
A blue light.
Bulette.
Oh.
Bulette. I believe it's French for bulette.
Toilet.
Fancy shoe.
So Dustin, or not Dustin, Brendan, give me another strength athletics check for Petrie. With advantage.
Advantage. Okay, that's a 20, but not nat.
Okay. So you guys get it just out of the hole now, and you can see Brevan push the driver and say, "Go, go!" And then he turns to you and says, "Get in now."
Okay, yeah, Petrie just dives into the... They're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So as you start to get going, you guys feel the earth and the carriage begin to rumble. And then so there are windows, but they're shuttered right now. But you can open them if you wanted to view out of them.
Yeah,
So
I'll check
are
it
you
out.
guys okay?
I'm gonna be viewing out.
So just as you guys start to get going, you see this explosion of earth just behind you from where the carriage was a moment ago. And this is the creature that you see.
TCZ.
Wait, why is it not giving me the option with the...
Oh my god, the creature looks just like Mike.
I am the creature.
There we go.
Oh, hello, little buddy.
He almost looks friendly.
Yeah, and it charges the carriage, and so now we can roll initiative.
So quick, we need to uncover that sign so he'll see it and turn away.
Let's see, I'm an 11.
Okay. Yeah, I got an 8.
I didn't do very well either. Let's see. 10.
Wow, you guys all did terrible.
Wheel.
What has Brevan got? Oh, okay. All right, so Brevan reacts first, and he goes to he lifts out. There's an opening through the top of the carriage, a ladder falls, and he climbs up and pulls a crossbow from his back and unloads a couple of bolts at the creature. You guys can see from the window, though, that he is aiming for the spots around its eyes, because those are the one of the few places where its carapace doesn't protect it, but each bolt breaks off just shy of hitting its target. And then the bullet goes, and it leaps into the air, and it takes a bite into the carriage, and you guys can actually see from inside the carriage the thing's teeth sink into the hardened wood, the magically hardened wood, and begin to splinter the carriage. And the bullet digs in its claws into the earth and is actually holding the carriage from going, despite how hard the horses are trying to pull. And both horses are whinnying and they're going nuts.
Who's up?
So now you all three of you guys are kind of next. So whoever wants to go next.
Petrie's sort of clueless on what to do, so someone else can have a go.
What do we know anything about these creatures? Can I make a roll to see if I know anything about this guy?
So when Marthow stated that it's a bulette, you do know a couple of things about them. They're informally known as kind of land sharks. They are able to burrow through the earth. Have you guys ever seen the movie Tremors?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
So they're kind of similar to the Tremors, as they hunt through sensing vibrations through the earth. They have a very hard kind of exoskeleton type shell. They typically feed on large animals like bears or moose, but the ones in Karnath have actually changed since the time that Karnath began using more necromantic energies and means to stay in the fight of the last war. And so the bullets have learned to not only feed on undead creatures, but have even now started to take on some of the aspects of undead, because their diet consists so much of creatures animated through necrotic energy. So these ones, they're not as big and strong, but they are probably a bit more vicious and hungry.
Okay. All right. So Colmar is feeling relieved and rather justified the fact that he did not take the Elatrix, because that thing would have fit into that, and then he would have been profoundly upset. So, how close is? I mean, I guess we can see its teeth.
Yeah, it's basically caught the carriage in its mouth. It's a huge creature. It is like 25 feet long and probably 15 feet tall at the shoulder.
Okay. I'm going to use acid arrow. See if that'll do anything to it.
Okay.
And that's an 8 total. And let's see. How many action points do we have?
4.
Okay, that's number 1, because I'm not going to roll. 14.
14 does not hit, no.
Okay, well, I'm not burning another one, so it's just 2d4 then, and a whopping 3 acid damage.
All right, so you see the acid arrow leave your hand as you conjure it into existence and shoot it at the creature. Actually, because it's not moving and it's kind of like stuck. We can consider that advantage. So your second roll would have been your advantage. So if you want to use your action point, you can do 2 more rolls.
Okay. 2 more rolls, huh? Well, a total of 20 or 22.
All right, that hits.
Okay, so some more acid for its trouble. 4 more points of acid.
So 7 total?
Yep.
All right. So you see the acid arrow strike the carapace and begin to cause a spot of sizzling and bubbling, but the creature barely even recognizes or registers it.
Okay.
All right, Marthow or Petrie?
All right. Petrie says, "Do we have anything valuable in here? In the carriage?"
Brevan shouts down from his place at the top. What do you mean, valuable?
Can we just leave this carriage?
I mean, it's got House Deneath mark on it. I don't know if we can abandon it.
No, Brevan says, no, we could abandon it, but do we want to risk this thing catching up to us?
Damn. I didn't think it'd be that fast. Okay.
Oh yeah, these things are very fast.
Okay. Yeah, land sharks. I get that now. Okay. All right. I try and find a way up onto the roof of the carriage. Is there a way inside the passenger part?
I mean, you want to go up where Brevan is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can push past him, and he's kind of like standing on the ladder, like from his torso up outside the carriage, shooting at the thing.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to push past him and get all the way up top if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on top because I'm the hero, and then I'm gonna just blast it with a guiding bolt. Hopefully that'll do something.
Okay.
And that's a nat 20, baby.
What level guiding bolt are you using?
Oh, it's just gonna be first level. I just want to see what it does.
Right,
but
so,
I got nat 20, so should I be rolling something else?
Wait, where are you? So you rolled a nat 20. So first, roll another 20.
Okay. 15.
15 total.
Yeah. I don't think I add any mods for that, do I?
You do.
Oh, I do. Oh, so the guiding bolt. Oh, so that's 20.
Look at your. Do you have your dice cloud open?
Yeah. My dice cloud? No, I don't. Sorry. I've got my I have my other thing up.
You haven't picked what spells that you have prepared, do you? Or wait a minute, where is it? Wait, why is guiding bolt not? Oh, I see why now. All right, that's something we'll have to fix later. But no, you make a ranged spell attack, so you add your proficiency bonus and your wisdom modifier.
3, so 6, so that's 21.
All right, so you confirm. Now roll a percentile die.
Okay. 100. 74.
All right, so first of all, you do double max damage.
3d6, so 66. 36.
Nice.
Wait a minute. Wait, where is it? No, so No, it's 4d6 for the damage. So 24, so 48 damage. 48 radiant damage. And then the next attack has advantage against it. And it also takes an additional d8 anytime anybody hits it now. So the first d8 is going to be maxed. So 48 plus 8 is 56. So it takes 56 damage. So 56. 7 is 63. So that is a huge hit against the creature. It basically blows a hole right through its carapace in its side, and it chars the meat beneath it, and it's bleeding pretty badly. And it's a strong enough blow that it lets go of the carriage from the shock and the pain.
Mhm.
And then with that, Brevan yells at the driver, "Go, go, go!" And then the carriage begins moving away again. So the carriage gets about 30, 40 feet away, and then the bullet begins charging forward at you guys again.
And as it's charging, Marthow is going to bolt at it.
Okay.
So that's a 22.
Is that level 1 Chaos Bolt?
Yes.
All right. So 22 hits.
And then it's 2d8. Just 6 damage. Oh, and it's going to be of the type. See, 2 or 4. It's going to be cold. I'm going to slow it down. Cold damage.
Okay. So what's the damage?
6.
All right, so you managed to freeze it. You launched that frozen bolt right at the wound that Petrie left. By the way, did you do that with advantage?
I did not.
Okay, so roll again.
Let's get that 20.
It's just set. It's 24, so it's not a nat.
Okay.
But not natural.
All right, so then, yeah, you managed to hit it right in its wound, which causes it to growl and roar, and it's continuing to charge after you guys. Brevan launches a couple more bolts at it, and Elmorn looked like he was ready to jump out with Petrie and Brevan, but because of Petrie's heroics, he didn't need to, and so he's just kind of looking on, waiting for a chance to strike. Now, Petrie, are you all the way outside, like standing on the roof?
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a dexterity save. Actually, not save, dexterity check.
Check, gotcha. At disadvantage because of... Oh, no, that's only stealth, don't worry. Doesn't matter. I still rolled low. I'm gonna have to use an inspiration.
Okay.
All right. Roll that. That's another one, because that's a 1. We won't take that. And we'll have to sit with this. So this is a 12 minus 1, so 11. Out of 3 rolls, that was my highest. Okay.
Wait, so you used 2 action points on that?
Yeah, to get an 11. It's a good roll, right?
So yeah, where's that screen? There it is. So you take 6 damage as you fall to the ground, prone.
Love it.
And of course, the bullet instantly recognizes that you're the one that heard it.
Oh,
And
for
so
sure.
he actually leaps into the air, dives under the ground, and then launches up from the ground to attack you. And so, where is
Petrie dies.
it?
Damn land
Or is he
sharks.
reborn?
Oh, hey.
So, you are prone. So it's
So
gonna get
advantage.
it's gonna get advantage on these attacks. So first attack is a 22. Second attack is a 17. Does that hit?
17. 7. Oh, like AC.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought we were just doing damage.
Oh no, not damage yet.
Okay, cool.
And then third attack. This is the bite.
Oh,
19.
that hit me right on the cheek.
All right. So first one is so 17 damage from the claw.
Okay.
And then the bite.
Dun
17 damage from the bite. And
Oh,
then
that's a little.
you also make either athletics or dexterity.
Athletics. All right,
Yeah.
let's have a quick look. 15.
All right, it got a 25. So this thing as it bursts out of the ground, it lands on top of you, swiping you with its claw, wrenching your shoulder, and then it bites down on your other shoulder, just below your neck, and begins kind of like a dog with a chew toy, just and you are grappled by this thing.
I bet. Yeah, Petrie's screaming, by the way. He was like, ah!
So that was 34 damage against you, right? Total?
Yeah, I'm on 20. Yeah.
No, you're at
That's
28.
okay. Oh, sorry, I can't math.
See, this is why you should be using Dice Cloud.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Makes it so much easier. All right, so
It updated.
Colmar, yeah, I mean, it's in real time. So when I do something, you see it.
Ah, cool.
And then when you do something, I see it.
All right, gotcha.
All right, so Colmar, Brevan, or not Brevan, Colmar, Petrie, Marthow, and then Elmorn. Whatever order you guys want to go. but Elmorn's going to go after all of you guys.
So does it look like? Can we? I take it the back end of the cart or whatever we're riding is gone at this point.
No, it sustained a lot of damage, but it's not gone.
Okay.
I mean, the wood is has been magically reinforced, so it's not quite as strong as metal, but it was able to hold up pretty well.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm going to look through the broken pieces. So do we see what happened to Petrie?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's windows that Petrie opened initially, so you guys can see out those windows, and you see that this thing is ragdolling Petrie.
I'm going to cast grease on Petrie.
Ooh. Interesting. All right. So describe how you cast that and what happens.
Okay, so I see Petrie being grabbed by the creature and flung around, and I reach out and cast grease, and Petrie is suddenly covered with a bunch of grease, and as the creature is flinging it around, it slings right out of its mouth, and he lands on the ground. He probably takes damage, but at least he's not grappled anymore.
All right. Petrie, I'm going to give you an additional check with advantage to see if you can get out of this thing's grasp as he's doing that.
Right.
Oh, you should definitely win this. All right, what do you got?
What am I doing? A strength check?
Well, right, but what's your total with advantage?
Oh, okay. 21.
Yeah. So definitely what Colmar says happens, but you do end up taking another 8 damage as you're flung at least 20 feet and land prone, and you're covered in saliva and grease and blood, little bit of snot, perhaps some urine.
Or what they call Saturday night.
Petrie may need a little bit of stone piss after this, but nice thinking, Colmar. You get an action point for that.
All right.
And then, so Petrie or Marthow, either one of you guys can go now.
So Petrie gets up and brushes himself off, and like in a horror movie, he runs away. He just starts running.
Okay.
He just runs 60 feet in whatever direction is away.
Well, you use half your movement to stand up, so
yeah,
you move 45 feet.
Oh.
In the away direction. Okay. So then Marthow.
Marthow reaches into his and pulls out a wooden hilt, and a shadow creature rises from the hilt, and he makes a swing at the.
Wait a minute, are you going up right next to the creature? What?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So you jump out of the cart run up to the creature with wielding this wooden hilt with this shadow creature kind of above you or by you.
Yes.
Okay.
And it does 23.
23, that's a hit.
And it's 11 damage, 11 necrotic.
Okay.
And then
So you notice as this shadow creature, is it a claw that it hits with, or like what does it look like?
I imagine it to be, like almost like a stinger, like a shadowy stinger. So scorpion tail, but like a shadow scorpion tail.
Okay. So as the shadow scorpion tail pierces beneath the bony carapace down into the creature's hide, you notice that actually the creature seems to absorb that energy, and it begins to actually cause the creature's wounds to heal slightly. And it turns to you and is now very intrigued, and you can see it lick its lips.
Well, lucky I got more grease spells.
I'm gonna say like as a point, and I want to. So I ran 20 feet, right?
Yeah.
So I want to run point to
Get back inside.
yeah, disengage, get back inside.
What do you use an action point for? For
Disengage.
disengage? Okay. Yeah. So you can use the action point to disengage, and then you got 10 feet of movement left in you. So you can move
Cool.
10 feet away.
I'm good just hanging out with Komar. I feel like he's gonna keep me safe.
And then Elmorn, he seeing your distress, Marthow, and also Petrie's cowardice. Elmorn, with Egg firmly beside him on his shoulder, leaps from the carriage and then casts a spell where you could see some energy form around his larynx, and his voice projects a lot more than it usually does in a primal roar that gets the creature's attention. And then let's see what that is. DC 13. So Elmorn tries to cast Compelled Duel, but the creature is not having it. It kind of shakes the magic out and doesn't respond to it. But Elmorn continues to run at the thing and attack. And so he launches 3 attacks, only one of which hits, to deal 5 more damage to the creature.
He didn't use a super smite.
Oh yeah, he probably would have used the smite, wouldn't he? So I'm gonna say he used he used the smite. So he used a level 2 smite. So that is 2d8, 3d8, an additional 3d8. Actually, this thing is not undead, but it's got enough undead energy that I'll give it to him. And so that's another d8. So Elmorn deals an additional 24 damage to the thing.
Need to roll my acid damage for the next round.
Okay, give it to me.
2.
Yes.
So then 5, 29, 16 and 29 is... All right, so you guys have done a total of 89 damage to the thing so far. And it's looking pretty wounded. The Elmorn missed with both of his attacks with his halberd, only to, as the creature was dodging the halberd, he hits it with the butt end of it, illuminating it with radiant energy as it smashes into the creature's eye, dealing that damage. And then the wound that was hit with the acid continues to bubble away. And this thing is looking super pissed. And it's going to attack Elmorn. Actually, it basically hits Elmorn, knocking him 20 feet away.
Wow.
With its huge claw, and begins running after Marthow. And so it catches Marthow, and then it's still got a bite and a claw left. So first is the claw. It's a 12 hit.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. And then the bite. Wow, almost a critical. 26.
Yeah. Doesn't hit.
So it's got its head like in the cart now, biting into Marthow.
No, Martha is 10 feet away from the cart. So Marthow, you take 18 damage. 18 piercing damage, and need to give me an opposed strength, athletics, or dexterity acrobatics.
Awesome. Those are my best.
You actually don't need to worry about it. He rolled a 1. So he's going to... So actually, give me the roll, because we're going to try to confirm that critical fail.
It's a 9.
All right, so it's not a critical fail, like critical fumble, but he bites you, but you manage to wriggle out of it. So you're not grappled. So now your guys' turn.
So how close is the creature to Marthow?
He's right up in Marthow's grill.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out one of those little rocks and see if I can throw and hit the creature with it.
Mm-hmm. So that is dexterity save, right?
Yep.
He fails.
All right, 46, right?
Yep.
With the bludgeoning, 12 damage.
Right. The thing is, as Colmar throws these pebbles that transform into giant boulders over the creature and crush its back end, causing its carapace to crack and break, and it starts to ooze from these wounds. You can hear it scream in agony. It's actually trying to get away, but it's pinned beneath boulders. Now, Martha and Petrie, you guys are up.
Marthow's going to run 20 feet away, and then
Okay.
he's going to well, this time cast at a second level slot.
Okay.
So no, that's a 12. Math is not being nice to me today.
A 12 for the attack.
13.
13. Yeah, that's a miss.
I'm going to spend 2 sorcery points forward to that ability.
I'm sorry, what?
14. I said I'm going to spend 2 sorcery points.
Mm-hmm.
Add a D4 to that.
Wait, are you using your bend luck ability?
Yes.
You don't need to use sport sorcery points for that. It's twice per.
I didn't update the wording yet, so I'll do that. You
Okay.
use that, and so it's 14.
All right, it's still a miss. Do you want to use your Ties of Chaos?
Yeah. I'll use the Tides of Chaos. I want to hit this thing. All right.
Still a miss.
Still a miss on 19.
Yeah.
Wow, this thing's thick.
You want to use the action point?
I'll give it a go. I'll use an action point. Yeah, well, that was a wasted action point. I guess I'll just have to live with the miss.
All right. Do you want to describe how your miss is missed?
Marthow was conjures variations of fire and ice between his fingers, and then shoots out, and the creature just dodged it.
Okay.
It sidestepped it and is acting all nonchalant about it.
All right, and then Petrie.
Can Petrie see it? I'm guessing it's on the other side of the cart. Oh, I don't know what the positioning is.
Well, you were running away, so
Yeah.
are you like what would have made Petrie change?
He saw giant boulders. If he saw giant boulders,
He wouldn't have seen them from his.
oh well, then he just
position.
keeps running. Petrie just keeps running. There's nothing which should stop him.
All right, so Petrie is now like 120 feet away from the carriage and the battle and everything.
Yeah, he's the hero.
Elmorn seeing the creature crippled and trying to run, he shakes his head and says, in that stoic way that only Elmorn can, "I must put this thing out of its misery now." And then he begins trying to hit it with his halberd, which, let's see how that goes. He misses each and every time. The creature, despite being disabled, is still wiry. So, Colmar, Marthow, Petrie, what are you guys doing now?
Firebolt. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a roll.
Alrighty. That's a miss. 17.
All right. Marthow.
How far is the creature from us?
It's about 10 feet away from the cart. It's about 20 feet away from you.
All right, I'm gonna hit with a chaos bolt, or not a chaos bolt, the cantrip.
Yeah, go for it.
Chromatic bolt, and it's 19.
It's technically missed, but I'm gonna let you hit. It's I don't want this to drag out any longer.
It's 5 damage, and it's a let's make it lightning damage, or rather acid damage.
Well, with chaos bolts or whatever that chromatic bolt, you don't choose; it's random, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. So that's poison.
All right. So it's hit, it screams, and it dies. Go ahead and describe how it dies.
All other impressive attempts at magic were performed by the gorgeous one of the group. A small bolt of acid protruded and hit the creature, and the burn was just enough to finish the creature's life off. And it starts dissolving.
Wait, the whole thing starts dissolving?
Around an exit wound.
Okay.
Starts dissolving.
So now you guys have this massive armored bulette, the Carnathi bulette corpse.
Petrie thinks they're all dead, and he just keeps running.
I message Petrie. Get back here.
Hold on, we're gonna do something interesting. Let me get something.
Better watch out for the story, guys.
God damn.
Get up! I'm bringing out the story dice.
All these guys don't hunt in groups. That would suck.
Let's see what happens to Petrie as he's running.
He runs away.
I was expecting to fall over in my own grease. Like.
So is Petrie running? If he's running and he's greased up, does that make him like the greased up the deaf guy from Family Guy?
Yeah. It's half his movement.
You'll never catch me.
That reminds me. Have you guys ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
A few times, yeah.
Greased watermelon. When he throws it in the pool, and all the inner
I didn't
city
see that.
kids are trying to get the watermelon. So, Petrie, as you're running, suddenly, despite the fact that you're in a flat plane, you suddenly find yourself in like a more densely wooded swamp. And next thing you know is somebody grabs you and you lose consciousness. Marthow, Colmar, Brevan, and Elmorn, all you guys see this wood, this mystical wood just sort of spring up into existence and then go away.
And then Petrie's gone.
And Petrie's gone.
The
Mystical wood. When you say mystical wood, do you mean like kind of like Ents type, like that type of mystical wood?
Like Saturday night late mystical wood.
One minute it was a flat plain, the next minute there's like a foresty, wooded swamp type area, and then the next minute it's flat plains again.
All right. So, just one question: how did this guy catch me? I'm greased up.
So they might not have actually caught you, but whatever they did knocked you out.
Okay.
So that happened. So now you guys have a bullet corpse and a missing Petrie.
A bullet corpse, or I would like to say a new minion.
It can be a new mount.
By the way, I want to show you guys the story dice I rolled. I got this guy right there. That's where the woods came from.
Okay.
I have not figured out how to use this yet, but it'll get in there. And then, and the dude snatching Petrie. So you know where that all came from.
All right.
Yeah, cool. Where'd you get them story dice?
Local game shop.
Sick.
Yeah, with my last computer, there's no way I could have shown you guys the story dice because it would not have resolved that detail.
Yeah, aren't they? Are they Rory's story cubes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So Petrie, there was. I wasn't just pulling that out of my ass. I pulled that out of the story dice. You're not dead. Don't worry, unless you want to be, but you're not.
A bit slimy, yeah.
Does it look like the trees inspecting it? Is there any kind of funny markings on the ground? Does it look like are there any marks left from where they from their presence there?
You see some greased up footprints that eventually disappear. If you want to give me an investigation check, or if you have detect magic or anything, you can be using that kind of stuff, or any other kind of divination magic.
Well, it just so happens that I do not have detect magic.
I like how you put that.
Investigation. I'm going to do investigation roll, and that's a 15.
All right. So one thing that you are able to find embedded in the ground, like almost hidden, is this like kind of a little stump or a stick or something, is what it looks like. But it has this one part that's a little shiny. And
A little shiny.
A little shiny. And you go and investigate, and you see that it's actually a gem on like some kind of wooden stick or something that's kind of covered in mud. And you pull it out, and it's rusted, it's dirty, but it's Petrie's longsword with the gem that he had, that he found from the cave at Fort Deep Dark.
So you said the sword is rusted and dirty.
Mm-hmm. It looks to be, I mean, you know it's Petrie's because you recognize the gem, you recognize the way that it's built, because it was pulled from, I believe it was pulled from McCormick's armory. But for some reason, it looks to be at least 100 years old and very weathered.
Okay. I call Colmar and motion to Colmar and Elmore in the scene. Say we have a crisis on our hands. You see the sword, and it appears much older than it actually is. What do you make of this?
I don't know.
Warren, who probably just gives me a shoulder shrug.
Yeah, basically, he's like, this is above my pay grade.
So this is Petrie's sword that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
And you found it rusted.
Well, I'm gonna hold on to it. Return it to Petrie, even if it is rusty.
So ask Brevan, what do you make of this? What are you aware of woods that magically appear? Are these some sort of fey creatures?
I mean, I've heard tales. Not far from Carlacton, there have been reports that a strange tower appeared from nowhere, and has done so at random times, but nothing like this.
But this wasn't a tower, this was woods.
Yes, I've never seen anything like this personally, nor have I heard anything of this nature.
Let's see.
And then the driver actually comes up, and he looks and he says, "Thelanis. It's got to be Thelanis."
Thelanis. Who is Thelanis? Should I know who Thelanis is?
Oh, Thelanis is not a who. It's a where. It's the realm of the Fae. Fairies. Every once in a while, it will cross into our world. It's usually marked by trees and nature of an unworldly sort.
Say no more. I understand perfectly what must be done. You're such a dear, such a darling. A Bellic's dagger, and I
Oh, Bellick's dagger was
sliced the air.
destroyed.
Yeah. You think that if we had Bellick's dagger, we could do this? It'd be a good idea. And since we don't, oh well.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that Bellic's dagger was destroyed.
Mhm.
So, driver, what can you tell us about the Lannis?
Only stories. I've never thought that they were true, but sometimes there are tales of people that go into woods like this and then they're not heard from again for years, decades even. But then at some point they come back as if they haven't aged a day. I never thought it would be true.
So where are we? Are we standing in a wooded area?
No, it's a flat plain.
Okay, so the woods are gone.
Yeah, it's like you guys are in like a grassland type area.
Right. So the woods appeared. Petrie was there, and then now the woods and Petrie are gone, and we just have a sword.
Mhm.
Okay. Well.
Any other trees that look familiar in view?
No, there's not a tree for miles.
Mm-hmm.
And Petrie, when you finally awaken, you're in the middle of a clearing, surrounded by trees that some of them seem to. I mean, it's strange, but some of them have faces almost. Like you don't, but they're not faces. It looks like just the way that the bark kind of curves or the knobs and the natural things that you might encounter in a tree, but they happen to be positioned in a way that reminds you of faces. And the light, the sunlight that beams down on you from the clearing is very warm and almost it's very soothing. And you see a lot of birds and wildlife kind of flitting about. But
Well,
you don't see Colmar or Brevan or anyone anywhere. You don't see the bulette. You don't see the carriage. Nothing.
Yeah, Petrie's confused. He walks over towards a tree and he's just gonna go sit down, I think.
Can I just say that in my head, Petrie actually said Petrie is confused.
Yeah, like you can say that too, yeah.
So as you sit, are you sitting on or next to the tree?
Against it.
Against it. So you feel the tree shake and it knocks you with one of its branches and says, "Get off me, human!"
I'm a half elf. Thank you very much.
Oh, I can see now you carry the half-blood in you. Matters not, you're still mortal.
So you're a tree.
Ah, I am not just a tree. I am a gift tree.
You sound just as confused as me, Tree. Now, how do I get out of here?
Too many trees.
What do you mean, get out of here?
Well, I'm obviously not where I was before.
Where were you before?
Some plain land on the way to my manor.
Manor? Do you speak of the king's manor?
Is it King's Manor? No.
Well, that is the only manor I am aware of. I've never seen it myself. I don't really move much or get out, but a little birdie once told me about it. It seems a nice enough place, I suppose, for a creature such as yourself.
Well, point me in the direction, Tree.
So the tree moves its branches kind of in a direction pointing towards a path.
A yellow brick road.
Somewhat, yeah.
I take
and,
it.
and the tree says, "But be careful. That way lies treachery and danger. Do not trust your eyes. Do not trust your ears. And be wary."
Okay, Tree. Goodbye.
You can see its branches lower, and it goes like, toodaloo.
And
So,
then Petrie starts humming. I'm off to see the wizard, but it
So, as you begin walking in that direction, the path is lined by, trees and everything. It seems like a pretty unnatural path through a wooded area. But the minute that you cross into this path, once you exit the clearing and cross into the path, all of a sudden the sunlight and the nice soothing feeling is replaced by darkness and a sense of dread, as you now are kind of enclosed in this almost a tunnel of darkness and trees. Very quick shift.
Oh.
And if you look behind you to try and go back to the clearing, you see vines and branches just kind of come together and close and intertwine, blocking your path.
Okay. Yeah. He just starts walking a little slower, more cautiously. But yeah, he's following the path.
Oh, also, if you look at yourself, you're completely clean. There's no grease or anything on you.
Nothing?
Also, your wounds are healed.
Huh. I'm probably dreaming. Yeah, Petrie just thinks that and just keeps walking. Well, he says that most likely.
Everything's a dream.
Oh, shit. We've come full circle. We've crossed campaigns. Beware of any large, giant bugs. All right, so back to Marthow and Colmar.
I'm going to investigate the bulette to see if it's somehow related to this Thalanis. I don't know if there's some relation to it. Just if there's anything unusual about the creature, markings or some kind of gem or some kind of anything that would seem strange.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll.
Natural 20.
All right. Hold on. How am I gonna do anything with that?
I hate that.
So as you're looking closely at the creature and trying to, figure out anything weird about it or see if there's any kind of connection, you see the creature shake, almost like convulse.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this causes you pause and you step away, and it does it again, and then all of a sudden, give me a dexterity save.
Yikes. That would be a 4. I'm going to use an action.
You don't need to use an action point. It's not going to hurt you.
Okay. Well.
But if you want to use an action point, you're welcome to.
Well, my character would use an action. I would use. Oh, shoot. Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled a 1. So I'll just roll with that,
So, the thing expels the contents of its stomach all over you. But you notice that it hits you with quite a bit of force where it knocks you on your ass, especially given that you're only like 3 feet tall, which I keep forgetting, but is a thing. As you look around you, completely soaked in this thing's vomit, which smells dreadful. It's you see like tons and tons of coins all over you, and a couple of gems.
Okay. And I'm pulling them off because they're stuck to me.
And at least one bone that you recognize to be a human femur.
Okay.
And so based on what happened, it was probably this thing is still dead, but it was like muscular reflex, part of the dying process or something.
Okay.
Some creatures loosen their bowels. This thing spits up its junk.
All right.
That's a Saturday night.
That's right. Yep.
Colmar now doused in bulette, puke, and gems. Okay, maybe I can get you a wash bucket or something. And I'll check the car to see if there's any kind of cleaning supplies, maybe even for just the car. But is there anything in the car that could be used to or disinfect?
There's a couple of water skins, but no like actual cleaning supplies. Based on what you guys see around you, it's probably like 500 gold pieces worth of currency that this thing spit up.
Okay. I'll definitely collect that. I'm not worried about the smell or the vomit.
See, you aren't, but that's gonna have to sit next to you on the train or on the cart. So he says, "Hey, here you go," and he rolls you a water skin.
Okay, yeah, I take a quick drink because I'm kind of thirsty. Okay, thanks.
Marthow, you suddenly remember that you gave Charles specific instructions that the manor had to include some kind of laboratory for magical study.
That was not me.
Or, well, it's there. And you suddenly get the idea or the message that despite your wishes maybe that Charles had that implemented into the design. Maybe it knocked a couple bucks off of the construction or something. You got a deal out of it.
So he didn't implement that?
No, he did. Like there's the manor, there's a place for you guys to be able to study magic and things like that. Charles
Gotcha.
probably thought it would be it'd come in useful considering you guys are looking for this angel face creature and all these other things have been happening, a way to try and experiment and sort out what's going on.
I'm all down for experimenting. So, but the only thing of magic we found is the sword, and the old sword so far. Komar, do you still remember the ritual that you used to get into the blood cultist's lair?
Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't know if I could do this, but probably this is more your alley. Maybe we should try to call these fey creatures out. Just taunt them or something. They might appear.
I could do that.
You go weed whacking.
Your father was a mulberry bush. I mean, I feel like that's got to be pretty offensive to some tree creatures.
For those dryads and everything.
Yeah, right.
So you just hear the answer of the wind. And you also see a storm brewing on the horizon.
I look to
that was kind of brewing before you said what you said.
Okay. Well, we need to figure this out because I don't want to take a level of paladin. That's for damn sure.
Well, I was thinking, Kalmar, if you could perform the ritual, or perhaps we could modify the ritual if it was specifically attuned to blood cultists, but maybe the ritual is two rituals in general for going between worlds. So maybe working together, I can power my nature rolls to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, we can see what we can do.
So while you guys are having this conversation, Brevan steps up and says, I know that you lost your friend, and I don't mean to be rude, but bullets are not known to be solitary, and I would really hate for another one to meet us when we're not prepared. We should get moving.
Well,
I suppose we can continue on. We can analyze the sword back in the Handsome Mansion. I hear it's quite exquisite there.
I think that's an excellent idea, Marthow.
Brevan, who invited you? I'm just kidding. I give him a playful jostle.
Yeah, Brevan looked genuinely confused, and he's obviously not one for sarcasm or humor. So he was about to get quickly offended.
But we can see the site where he disappeared from. Like we're in view of the mansion, right?
Yeah, it's not too far away. It's on the horizon, so probably about 10-minute walk, 10-20-minute walk from where you guys are. Although you don't have to walk, you have the carriage still, which is fully functional. And the manor probably does have some kind of telescope or something that you would be able to use to view that area more closely from the manor.
This is true. Charles does know full well telescopes.
Well, I guess we go back to the mansion and then analyze the sword and see if what we can find.
Let's do it.
All right. I think because I can't stay up too much later with the studying and work and everything. I think that's probably a good stopping point. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can I take that bullet as an undead minion?
If you use an action point, and because normally huge creatures are too large for your ability, but
Okay.
if you sacrifice an action point where you start, as long as it's alive, you start with one less action point each session, I'll allow it. So it's up to you.
No, I won't. Instead of doing that, I'll make sure, see if we can pry some of the shell from it before we leave.
Harvest some of its parts.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Okay.
Cool.
And it's definitely of interest to you, Colmar, because of its link to necromantic energies.
Yeah.
But being a living creature. And you guys are very lucky that some of its actions did not happen. I'll post the stats for you guys.
Oh yeah.
And add it to your villain's morgue.
Sweet.
Because it was a
We
real
shot down
tough
that
creature. Yeah.
19 didn't hit the damn thing. I mean,
Its armor class was 20.
Damn.
yeah. Still high.
That's really high, yeah.
And then I know I'm really busy with studying, but I'm going to try my best, Petrie, for us to take care of some of your stuff via email.
Okay.
So that we get a clearer sense of back and forth with kind of what you're doing, since you're kind of on your own. I'm going to continue, as long as you're in this area, we'll continue going back and forth and trying to share the spotlight. But I know that I have difficulty with that sometimes, so I want to make sure that we're still moving that forward while they're trying to figure out how to get you.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll try. I'll keep myself posted. Keep myself ready.
Okay.
Cool.
And then any questions, comments, concerns, critiques regarding today's session?
No, I want to go buy those dice.
Yeah, the story dice are cool. I like them.
What set are they?
So I have,
Because they're Rory's. I know that much.
so I have a bunch of them. I have the original story dice, but then they have different subsets. So there's ones that are like Batman themed dice, and then there's ones that are dinosaur themed and like different things. And I got like 6 sets.
Okay. Okay.
Like this entire bag full of story dice.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
the ones I got are called Voyages.
Oh, the Voyages? Yeah, I see them. Yeah.
Yep, I got those.
And Peter, when I rolled the story dice for what Colmar found for his investigation check, I got a microscope and a dude with a bunch of coins. So it's like, what am I gonna do with this?
Yeah, I hate when I get this guy. Let's see if you can see this guy right here.
Oh.
With like the confused face. I hate that one.
I suddenly undergo a bout of confusion.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do my best to do the email stuff with Petrie. Colmar, you're gonna send me some stuff regarding the cantrip that you want to try and develop.
I sent you an email to start.
Oh, cool. I will check that out then. And then I will post up the Carnathy bullet stats.
Scary.
And yeah.
Cool.
Actually, so I wasn't planning on Petrie getting trapped in Thelanis, but it works out, and you guys will see when you get to the manor, because I had something planned, and now it's something that wasn't planned, but now will go together quite well.
Good.
Huh.
So
biggest scheme. That's cool.
What's that?
So it's like the biggest scheme. I get you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks everyone for playing. Really appreciate it. Once I'm done with these tests, we'll be able to go a lot longer, like we used to, at least to like 11:30 or whenever people get tired.
Good, man.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later. Good luck.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I'm so sick of studying. So sick of this.
When is the test?
July 8th. So not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
Ooh.
And it's 4 hours. It's like 200 questions. Thankfully it's multiple choice, but it's comprehensive regarding like pretty much every theory, intervention, major contributor to the field of psychology. And I haven't been in school for 4 years.
Start at 400 and work backwards.
I don't know if I can do that actually, because it's one of those electronically administered tests. So
they gotcha.
Yeah, but hopefully I'll be able to know whether I passed or failed right when I'm done with it.
Right when you hit submit.
Yeah,
you usually do.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I'll know whether. Either way, I'm getting drunk, but it'll determine if I'm getting celebratory drunk or you know, drowning my sorrows drunk.
Oh, that's cool, man. Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, good.
But we'll see you before then, so
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Deal.
All right, guys.
All right. Cool.